Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. We don't have an opening for the market close, a little countdown thing. I might make one of those for next week, but hey, we're here. We're all doing good. This has been a really interesting week on the market. Those of you who are watching stocks, those of you who are watching crypto, there's been a lot going on, and I'm looking forward to diving into a whole bunch of that this afternoon. In addition, of course, we got the bell at 4 o'clock, and I'm gonna try to not miss it this time. Hopefully, I'm sure you guys in chat pretty much are right on the bell. Like as soon as we get close to 4, I start seeing that chat being flooded with bells. I love it. I love it. I completely love it. All right, so let's start right away. Excuse me, with of course the charts. We're gonna head right over here. Bring this up. Here we go. So right now we are in a green day, hence my green lights. So we have the S&P 500. It's up a 0.5%. The TSX is only up 0.29%. So it's not a deep green day. It's close to a flat day, but on the green side of flat. Gold is up. WTI, so West Texas Intermediate's up. And there's Bitcoin up 5.25%. Now, the chart that you currently see, the candlesticks, this is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. So yesterday was a momentous day for Bitcoin because look what happened. Look what happened right over here. We actually broke through the all-time high and we made it all the way up to 69,000. Well, let's just take a look here, get the exact number, $69,210. Now, then this happened. People who are new, if you're brand new to crypto and you were riding this high and you were all full of the FOMO, and then that happened, you may have made some mistakes. For one, you may have sold out down here thinking, oh my God, we're going to zero. Help me. I got to pull my parachute. And then, of course, it went back up today. So then you're kind of in that position where if you're like getting caught back up in the FOMO again, you did the exact opposite of what you should do to make money. Now, why did this happen? I'll tell you, there's one big reason. People set up, basically, if we were going to hit the all-time high, that meant 100% of people who invested in Bitcoin were in profit. Everybody was in profit. And a lot of people decided that's where I am going to take my profits. And that's what a lot of this here was all that profit taking. People who had been waiting for that number. And, a lot of it were just orders that were put in place ahead of time saying, okay, we get to 69,000, I am selling. There was one miner who had been mining since, I think, 2014 or something crazy. I don't know if I'm not 100% on the first date, but they've been mining for a long time. And they sold everything during this. They were waiting for this number as well. So that's kind of what happened. And then once things settled out, well, all of the ETFs, they're all still buying, Grayscale and ARK and and that's what's happening. You're getting this build back up. And now we're looking at a little bit more stability. So that's kind of cool. All right. So that's kind of the overall look at the market right now. Let's take a quick look at our Canadian heat map. So over here, that's not Canada. Let's go. Oops. Boom, there we go. Here's Canada. Holy banana bread. So we got a little bit of green. You got TD slightly in the green. BMO. Tech B, Dollarama is in the green, but we got a lot of stuff that is either red. Look at CN. CNR has had a pretty big downward track all day. 2.75%. Now I'll show you what's neat about this here map is I can double click on this and we can actually get CNR. Now here we go. Let's just come over here for a bit. So this is what's happened on CNR today. This little drop right in here. Those of you on a phone are like saying, are you moving it at all? Are you moving it at all? And I am. I'll make it a little bigger here so you can sort of see. But yeah, so this is kind of where CN went today. Definitely on the downside, but I wouldn't worry about it. CNR is very resilient. They will bounce back. If anything, this might be giving you some better opportunities to get in if you're looking to expand your shares on CNR. So yeah, look at this. Alimentation couche-tard only down 0.11%. And I have to say that because for some reason, a few people get a kick out of the way I say alimentation. So that's all cool. Over on the US, and we kind of almost looked at this a moment ago. Nvidia's still up. Look at this. And let's pull up the Nvidia chart. I mean, look at this. We'll pull it back here a bit. So this here is 2024. This is Nvidia's journey this year. It's been a boom, boom, boom. One small correction. That would have been a great time to buy. But look at this. It just keeps on going. And it's going up and up and up. So $883. That's just absolutely crazy. And now the crypto map. No surprise here. Look at this. Shiba Inu, the only real big significant in the red here. And trust me, that's not that bad of a deal because let me show you what Shiba Inu has done. Look at this. They've come right up and then they're having a little bit of a correction here. So yeah, those of you who are big Shiba Inu fans, Inu fans, not the animal. So we'll leave that at that. But everybody else, look at this. Ethereum did really well today, up 8.73%. Solano's up 4.26%. XRP is up. Cardano's up. And of course, Bitcoin. Bitcoin just doing that thing, getting us back to what we lost yesterday. It'll be interesting to see whether or not I don't think we're going to challenge the 69,000 today. I have a strong feeling, and I was mentioning this over on the Discord this morning, that we're going to see a lot of sideways motion today. And we're almost getting to a point as well, to be honest, that we might be able to just grab ourselves. Let's see here. We'll come in from here. We'll take a look. We'll grab another one. We'll start over here. So we've already got a little bit of a pattern breaking out. So usually these things break usually in about this area of the pattern. So that's Thursday overnight. So in the morning when the market's open, you might see some interesting moves on Bitcoin, but we'll see. This is one of the interesting things. When it comes to technical analysis, I find that this crypto market's been a little bit different. It's not behaving. It's not behaving as well as it should be. All right, let's quickly get into chat. We'll say hello to those of you who are in the house. Let's just pull that out. We got Vic in here, and Vic is driving. Really, make sure, Vic, if you're gonna say anything, make sure you pull over, or that you're at least if you're at a red light, make sure it just turned red because you don't want to be there typing while it turns green and everybody bumping behind you. Stan is in the house with a big old happy Wednesday. And we got Mario in here saying, good afternoon, everyone. And Ian's at the girlfriend's. So he can't stay for the whole thing. Now, is this a new girlfriend? Because I thought you broke up with a girlfriend that didn't like me very much. So you'll have to let us know if you're still there, So we're almost, we got 7 minutes until we have our good old bell. I got some exciting, well, not really exciting. So let's talk a little bit about the jury duty thing. So I have my jury selection on the, the 18th. So the day after St. Paddy's Day. And I wrote to them because there's a little thing to try to get out of it. They basically said, no. So I haven't gotten out of it yet. I'm still working on it because I have a feeling that jury duty would just not be a good thing overall for me or for the content, because it's like, imagine this is the worst case scenario. Let's say I got sequestered for like a 3-week trial and I wasn't allowed to use social media for 3 weeks. Oh my God, that would absolutely suck. Now they do pay you about $50 a day, but I would be willing to pay them $50 a day to not do it. So it's just one of them crazy little things that's coming up. We'll have to see if that happens. I have wanted to put together a one-night special live stream for crypto. So bring in a panel. But I'm kind of waiting on finding out what is happening with the jury stuff. So we'll have to see if I can get myself out of that because I don't want to do it. It's not that I don't want to do it, it's that it would be a very huge inconvenience for my life, for the channel. Yeah, I really, really, really would prefer to not have to get in that situation. Now, once and that's a kind of funny thing. The thing is, I guess if I was smart, I would be starting to make a whole bunch of content ahead of time. That way there I could be ready for it. But honestly, right now I've got my pedal to the metal, just creating all of the content I have for you guys. Today, I was actually really happy. Today, I scripted the BCE video. So that's a deep dive that's coming out on Friday. For channel members, you'll see that, of course, on Thursday. So here's what here's what we're looking at for this one here. I kind of changed up the format a little bit with this video. I think you guys are going to like it. You know, a lot of times I'll give you a little bit of history about the company, but here I was thinking, you know what? We just got out of the earnings call not that long ago, like it was early February. There's a lot of different things I could bring up about that, just, within the earnings call itself, some of the information, some of the expectations, stuff like that. So I have done that. So there's not going to be a lot of history on BCE in this deep dive. It's going to be kind of like extra deep dive. So that's kind of cool all in itself. So if you guys end up really, really liking that format, I might just start doing that a little bit more often. Because, I look at it this way. If I tell you the history of the company, I mean, if you're really interested in the history of the company, you can probably just go and go to their website and go to the About Us section, and there you go. There's their history. So we're definitely going to look at it from that perspective. Jackie says, my husband was sequestered for 3 weeks, and there were security guards at all of the doors, so it's possible. Yeah, exactly. And I know my bad luck. My bad luck is I'd get in a 3-week trial and I would get into one of them juries where there's that one person who refused to vote guilty. There's that one person, that one holdout that keeps us there for another 2 weeks. That would be my luck. That would absolutely be my luck. Yeah, so I don't want to do, I know last year I missed a whole bunch. I missed almost a month. When I was hospitalized. So I don't want to do that again to you guys this year. That would suck. So yeah, we're gonna do things. I got another plan to try to get out of jury duty. I'm not gonna do what a few of the Discord people said to do. They said, "Oh, just call in and tell them you're mentally can't handle it." I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that because knowing my luck, they'd be like, "Okay, well, go to a psychiatrist and bring us a letter." And I'd be like, oh, great. So as it is, I know right now I am on a diuretic. So that means I have to pee a lot. So sitting in a jury is going to be uncomfortable if I have to do it. So I'm trying to get my doctor to write me a letter to get out of that. But so far that is, it's hard to say. It's hard to say if that's going to work, but we're going to try. Nonetheless, all right. Oh, we got a minute and a half now to the market closes. I got that bell ready. Minute and a half means I have enough time for Starbucks. Hey, Starbucks, you guys should sponsor me. This is not Starbucks coffee. It's just a Starbucks mug. But if Starbucks were to sponsor me, I'd put their coffee in it as well, and give them a good word. See, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We got 1 minute left until we have the bell. Paul has just wandered in. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. Paul, another one of those folks who are very, very active over on the Discord. If you're not yet on the Discord, there is a link down below. There's a link to the Discord. The Discord. Come on over. Join the party. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And, if there's topics there that we don't talk about and you want a category, just let me know. I'll add it. It's as easy as that. We got a crypto section. We got stock sections, the pool. So, the places where I grab the companies, that's all over there. It's fantastic. It's really, really, really cool. All right. I'm kind of rambling right now because I'm trying to ride out the clock to 4 o'clock because we got We have 10 seconds left. So I am ready. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't listen to that. That wasn't the bell because the bell is much louder. And here we go. We have the bell. Woohoo! Another day on the market, nice and closed. Let's take our final look at the market for the day. Gonna bring it back up. So we did indeed finish with a green day on both the S&P 500 as well as the TSX. Not a deep green day, but it was a green day nonetheless. Gold finished in the green, oil finished in the green, and Bitcoin finished in the green. Looking fantastic. And our heat maps once again. Here's our Canada heat map. Not really impressive. A few things in the green, but for the most part, not that impressive. And in the US, the biggest thing I noticed on this one, of course, is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA looking fantastic. AMD looking fantastic. And of course, once again, crypto looking absolutely stellar today. So that is it. That is awesome. I love it. All right. All right. Let's pull it back here. Bitcoin still within here, a little bit on the red right now, coming down. So, we'll if anything big happens to Bitcoin while we're on the air, we'll bring it up. We'll bring it up because that's going to be fantastic. All right, let's remove. Oh, yeah. Before we do that, one last thing here. Let's actually go. Let's go to our list. All right. So on our watch list, best performer was HMM.A as they've been coming back. You had a really good opportunity with HMM. Let me pull this up. So yeah, you've had a good opportunity lately to get in. Those of you who are looking at it and thinking it's too high to buy up here, well, now you've got a bit of a better entry point, not too shabby. MKL up 2.19%, Costco DRX. Now CP doing the opposite thing to what CNR is doing. And of course, BAM, Brookfield Asset Management. I love this stock. Nothing I can say that's bad about it. Look at this. We're doing good once again. Yeah, and who is our big loser? It's CNR right down here. CNR has had a bad day. Look at this. Not too fun. Yikes. Could be worse, but yeah. Or well, I don't think you could and let me just pull up here. This here is our market close, and it just gives us an idea of what we have industry-wise, sectors. So most of the stuff you guys have given me is basically in the finance sector. So that's kind of fun. All right, let's close that for now. We'll bring up Big Head Me once again. All right, and we got Mary in the house saying hello, everyone. Hello, Mary. Always good to see you. Enid is in here with a good afternoon, everyone. Now, Enid, are you back? Are you officially back now from Mexico? I think you said you were coming back early this week, so I think you're in. Trevor's in for the bell. Paul is up 2.04% today, probably from ARC B. So ARC B is ARC's basically Bitcoin ETF down there in the States. They have a very low management fee. Actually, I think they have a 0% management fee. You can't beat that. All right. Jackie says, what are your thoughts on holding physical silver versus gold? Also, comments about the gold and silver that Costco sells. Okay. I mean, I like the idea of holding physical gold. I like the idea of holding physical silver. But with that comes, of course, the fact that you have to store it. You have to take care of it. If somebody breaks into your house, they might steal your gold or your silver. So as long as you're willing to take that risk, and obviously, if I was holding a large amount of physical gold, silver, maybe platinum or palladium or something like that, I would probably look at, well, one, if I'm holding it in my house, I'm going to put it in a fireproof safe. There's a lot of hassle to it. Now, mind you, if something big were to happen that we lost all the power, let's say a solar flare or something like that, and we lost power for an extended amount of time, well, you would have gold and I would have nothing. But I mean, who's going to trade a piece of gold for like a loaf of bread if you're hungry, right? I mean, that'd be kind of, you'd have to be really, really, really desperate, I think, to do that. But with that being said, I think it is kind of cool. I think it's neat to have it. Um, and it's still a good investment, especially gold more than silver. Because gold, I think I'm more bullish on gold. I like silver, but I'm more bullish on gold. Now, Costco, those little bars of gold that Costco have, um, it's kind of funny. What I find funny is one, they can't keep it, they can't keep them in stock. It's like as soon as they come in, they're already sold. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. When I actually did a video recently, when I say recently, I think it was in the fall, on physical gold and silver, breaking down some of the prices and some of the options that are there. Um, you know, it depends on where the price of gold goes. Like you want to basically, if you're going to buy from Costco, you want to look at what their price is, and you do want to compare it to where gold is. Because if gold's having, for example, if gold price is going down, because they're selling it at a flat rate, if that gold price falls down, then you may be overpaying for gold. Or if the gold price happens to really, really spike, you could be getting a steal. So it's really going to depend on what we're looking at from gold price wise. Other places that you can get it as well. There's a whole bunch. Like I think I covered Costco, the Canada Mint, and I think there was another gold place. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head that I covered in that video. So I'd recommend that you take a look at that video because it breaks it down a little bit more for you. But with Costco, if you're going to buy it, check your other options first. You might be able to get a better deal. And let's see here. Enid is back. And let's see. Costco gold is ridiculously expensive. Yeah, once again, it comes down to I imagine when they set the price, they had sort of gold at one level. So it really is going to depend on, like I said, it will depend on the price of gold compared to what they're selling. Look at it. Look at your other options. So look at Mint Canada, for example, as Enid here is suggesting, and you might get a better deal on them right now. So and Mint Canada, I think you can get gold. I think you can get silver. I don't know if you can get platinum with the Mint. You might be able to. I know there was another gold place, and I can't remember the name of it. Anybody who can think of it, if anybody who watched that video and remembers that gold place I had mentioned, they actually looked pretty good, and they were pretty highly rated, and you could get a lot of different variations there as well. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to gold. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Oh, it's time once again for my my Starbucks. Hey guys, I am looking for that sponsorship. Ah, that is very, very good. So we've actually now Jill ordered me a different Starbucks mug, one that has its own coaster on the bottom of it and a little cover on the top to help keep it warm. So probably, I don't think it'll be here. It might be here in time for the next live stream, actually, on Sunday. So we'll have to see. Those of you who weren't, I don't know if you guys were here last Sunday, but that Sunday was a really good live stream. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We actually broke a record. We had more people concurrently on the stream than before. Our previous record was like 50. We pulled out 54. So that was absolutely cool. Now, the previous record was actually on one of the market closes. So that was when we were doing them every day for that special thing. I kind of miss that. I do kind of miss that. I wish I had, in a way, I kind of wish I had the time just to do it every day because it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But we're going to have a few different things coming up down the road. So what's coming up, I just wanted to mention as well. So we do have the deep dive on BCE. That's going to be coming out on Tuesday. But we got something else coming out. Now, here's this crazy idea that somebody threw at me, actually threw a comment. And I looked at the comment. At first, I was like, oh, okay. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, this could actually make an interesting video. So what we're doing for the Tuesday video of next week is I'm going to try to find monthly dividend stocks that you can space out over the month to try to get almost a weekly salary. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it'll happen because so far I've started looking. I've gone through the big ETF ones, And here's the funny thing. Going through these ETFs, I think I think most of them fell on around the 7th of the month. I was like, "Oh dear, this is not working out really well." So what I don't know if I'll be able to achieve a weekly high dividend payout, but I've got all of the stocks as well. And basically, I'm looking at anything with 7% or higher. So what I'll end up doing is we'll have a map, sort of a map of the month. And I've just got it from, I just listed it from 1 to 30, because most things that would pay you on the 31st will pay on the 30 as well if it only has 30 days in the month, or the 29th if it's February, or 28th if it's a normal February. So I'm going to create this map of high dividend. Now, there's going to be a lot of a lot of stocks mentioned in this video. So I won't be doing any kind of a deep dive on them because there's just going to be way too many. And I'm not looking to make like a 5-hour video, but we're going to just put together this map. I'm going to share it with you guys. I will point out that some of these dividends may have, they may have ROC, so return of capital. They may not be the best investment. This is basically geared towards people who are just don't really give a damn about the total return. They just want that income. So, and I will, of course, I'll try to highlight some of the ones, though, that are pretty good total return as well. But usually when you start going up into high dividend stocks, you're not going to get the best total return. But there may be a few in the like 7 to 10 area that might pull off a half decent total return at the same time. But that's what's coming up. That's going to be kind of really, really, really interesting. All right. Sophie says, "Hey, crew, better late than never." Oh, welcome, Sophie. Always good to see you. And here's Harold. What happened to HMM.A? It's called a correction, and it's a very normal thing. Here, give me a second here. I will pull this back up, and we're going to go back to HMM.A. Let's bring them up here. All right. Now, just going to see if I can. I will go to, let's just go to the 4-hour. Oops. And I'm going to bring this in here, sort of adjust it a bit so we can sort of see it a little bit better. And there we go. There we go. We can sort of see things a little bit better. All right. This is kind of that interesting thing. So what we're having right now, so this here is basically your basic correction. It's a completely normal thing. So a stock will not normally go up forever. Normally what will happen is, and let's just do it this way here. Normally you might get a little bit, you might go up for a little bit, and then normally you'll get this whole kind of step. It's kind of like a step thing. This is kind of a normal way that a stock will move in, let's say if it's bullish. And you could even get something as big as that, but it's one of those normal things that happens. Now, I'm just sort of doing it this way, but you can sort of see you're moving up, you got a correction, you're moving up, you got a correction, you're moving up. Sometimes as well, you might actually move straight for a little bit as well before you resume going back up, and when you're going down, you get the same kind of step thing as you're happening. So this here is basically a chance, because what happens is, you got to think of it this way, and I'll tell you sort of the psychology behind it. A lot of people have exit strategies when it comes to profits. So when you're looking at something here, so let's say right here, and I've got prices on the side, so that's a $12 mark. So for example, when they hit $12, there may have been some people who bought it at $8 maybe, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take some profits at $12. Well, all of those people taking profits at $12 is knocking it back down to $11.23. And then we go back up, and maybe people are thinking, maybe some people around $12.30 start taking profits, and that brings us back down. Maybe a lot of people did. Maybe some of those people missed it at 12 and they took it down here, but it's kind of what happens all the time. So it is very normal, and it's very healthy. Then you got people like me. I'm out there swing trading stuff. So what happens is, and I'll show you what I'm swing trading right now. Just give me a second here. I got to go over to, here we go. So this here is what I've been swing trading. This here is, and I'm going to switch us back to that 1 hour mark. There we go. And we'll bring it back this way. Try to make it a little bit more viewable. All right, there we go. All right, so this here is BTCC.B. So it's a Bitcoin ETF. So this is the type of thing that I'm doing. Like, I bought, I think I bought in here and I ended up selling here, but I'm playing these candles. So when you look at an individual candle, so even, let's just take a look at, I'm going to move over this way a little bit and we'll thin it out a little bit. There we go. Just so you can take a look at a candle. All right. So this is part of yesterday's crash. So while we were crashing, so if you're looking here, 1224 and 1198. So this was kind of that range. And this was in 1 hour. It was moving up and down through this. So what was happening is it came in here, it went down. Once it settled into a bit of a movement. So for example, I might sell it at $12.21. And then it comes back down here, maybe at 12.10, I buy it. Then it comes back up a bit at 12.16. I might sell it. Maybe I'll then buy it again at 12.05. So you can sort of see that what I'm doing is I'm selling at a higher price. I'm buying it at a lower price. And that's the way I've been sort of swinging these. Now this here, because this all happens in an hour, it's more of a day trade than a swing trade. But, normally if the situation is really, really conducive of making some money on a day trade, I'll sort of switch gears into day trading for that. But then a lot of times too, I look at more of the longer term. So I look at like an actual day trade, an actual swing trade, which is much shorter than a day trade. I'll pull this back in a little bit here. Let's see here. Whoops. Yeah. All right. Yeah, sometimes these things are, oh, there we go. Let's bring it back this way. All right, there we go. It is behaving. So sometimes, and this is kind of what I was looking at before, what you may do is, for example, if you're doing a swing trade on this, is you may once again take your chart and sort of look at where it is going. All right, and we'll take a chart here. All right, so, and I need one more line here. From here, right down to here. All right. And we'll just take this over here for now. So what would happen here is if this were to break to the upside, it normally will break about the same amount as that base. That's why I took that space right there. So let's say, for example, this, and right now everything is bullish. So the chances is that it probably will break to the upside. So what I would do in a case like this is, let's say I was playing this as a swing. Depends on when I got in. But right now, if I got in here, I might buy it down here, like, at 12.95. And then I'll sit back and I'll be saying, okay, well, I know it's going to break out to about 13.40, well, to 13.51. So I might put in a trade at 13.45. So, buying 12.96, 13.45, I will set in my orders. And what I will also then do is I'll probably put a stop loss in there as well. And I'll tell you why. Because let's say it doesn't go as planned and it actually breaks to the downside. Well, in this case here, I'm going to look at if it goes below about here around 12.90, then I'm probably going to get out of it. And then I'll look for a new entry point in a case like this, because I don't want to go all the way down here. I don't want to ride that down. But I will make money, like even in a down market. So you take yesterday, yesterday we were up here at 13.48 and we fell. Well, technically we fell all the way down to, we wicked down to 11.56. But yeah, when I knew what was going to happen though. I knew that once Bitcoin, and this is why I love playing this, because this here is the same as Bitcoin. You see, there's that same drop. So what happens is, and look here, look, it's actually broken down a little bit, but it needs to close to confirm that it's going to go down to here. And even if it does, we got support in here. These are the moving averages. They do tend to provide a little bit of support, so that'll come back up. But like with yesterday, I could play Bitcoin because I knew that BTCC.B, it's for one, the reason I went with the .B is it's hedged to the American dollar. So it pretty much moves almost identical to Bitcoin. It's very, very close. So I can look at, like, I knew once we hit 69, we were probably going to see this. So I sold up here. I let it go down a little bit. And there's probably a few little places where I bought it back and then sold it and bought it and sold just to play this as it was going down. But I can play things going down as well. Because even if I sell something up here, for example, and then I buy it back here, it's not a bad thing. So even if you're in a loss, so let's say, because sometimes this will happen. Let's say, for example, you bought it up here at, I'm going to go back to this one because we'll just use this one. It's just easier because it's smaller numbers. Let's say you bought it right at the top, $13.47, and you're sitting on it, and then the crash happens. And the crash is still happening, and you're sitting there, you're holding it, and you're like, I'm at 1284. If I sell it, I'm going to realize my loss. And that is true, absolutely. But imagine if you sell it at 1284 and then you buy it back at like 12. Well, all of a sudden, you're going to have leftover money, but you're going to have the same number of shares. And then it recovers, it comes back up, and all of a sudden you're back above where you were before. So what you end up happening is you're now in the green on this overall, and you've got a little bit of extra cash on the side because guess what? It didn't cost as much to get your position back. So you got the cash on the side, everything is back to normal up here. So you could have, this is kind of the difference. Like if you had bought it here and didn't realize your loss down here, and you had just let it do the full fall and then come back up, well, yeah, you would be in the green. Wonderful. You have your profit. Wonderful. But the way I do it, I'm in that same position as you, and I might have a couple $100 or so of cash on the side from buying it at a lower amount. It all depends on how many shares you're playing with. Because if you look at it this way, so at 1347 and 1346, so that's a tick. That's a single tick. So if you were playing, let's say, 100 shares. So if you had 100 shares at a single tick, you made $1. So every tick you make is $1. If you had 1,000 shares, it would be 1,000 shares would be $100. Sorry, 1,000 shares is $10, and then $1 for so $1 and then goes up to $10. So it adds up pretty quickly. So a lot of times, a lot of times I may have 1,000 shares of these when I'm playing it. So every single tick, $10, $10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and it adds up pretty darn fast. So it's just kind of that whole thing with swing trading and day trading and all of that in there. So anyway, all of that from an HMM.A question. What a tangent. Anita just said nothing. Markets just go up. They do over the long term. They always do. Absolutely. So those of you, of course, who do not do any kind of swing trading and stuff like that, and if that is dangerous, keep in mind, it's not without risk. Ignore the last 15 minutes because we were kind of all in that tangent. But yeah, overall, things always tend to go up over time. Now, there are some exceptions, but those are usually because they're a bad company, not because of the market. All right, whoops. Paul says, all the horizons are now Global X Canada ETF for cash and T-bills. All pay on the 7th of the month. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll show you guys something. Give me a second. This here is the beginning of me putting things together. Look at this. These are all the ETFs on the 7th. These are the 8th. So the 7th and the 8th tend to be the big ones. All of the BMO ones are on the 4th. A couple others. Now, this is where this is going through the ETFs. So now I need to go through all of the regular companies and start pulling them out. So I'm hoping to try to get a bit more fleshed in through the center on these. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. So just there we go. I'm just going to get rid of that. So just sort of to keep in mind. All right, I'm going to remove that for now. We'll bring back Big Me for the moment. Ah, and I'll have another sip of that coffee. Ah, that is so good. Yeah, so what's going to happen with the Bank of Canada? I completely forgot about the Bank of Canada, and I even had it on the thumbnail. So we did have the Bank of Canada meeting today, and surprise, surprise, the rate is not going up. So, or not going down or up. It's staying flat. So, but we kind of knew this. Like I'm still predicting. Whoops. Oh, how did that happen? I just accidentally touched something on the keyboard and it sent me that. Yeah, that was funny. Um, yeah, so I'm still I think I'm firmly on June. I know a lot of people are saying there's about a 30% chance we might see it next month in April. Maybe a 50% chance in May. We'll have to see. But right now, unless things drastically change with CPI and other different inflation indicators, I'm still on June 1st. And just from the way I think the language and the verbiage that we got from Tiff Macklem in regards to this one is to me indicating that April is a no-go. Like if they thought there was a chance they were cutting rate hikes, cutting rates next month, the verbiage would have been there'd be hints in the verbiage. There were no hints of that. He was kind of firm in the way he was talking. So I'm pretty sure that June is going to be the big date. I'm also calling June for the U.S. as well. So I think both Canada and the Fed will be looking at June to cut the rates. So we'll have to sort of see how that goes. But it was absolutely no surprise. And the funny thing is, this morning, I knew we had the Bank of Canada announcement and all of that, but um, I almost completely missed it because I was like enraptured by seeing what was going to happen with Bitcoin as it recovered from yesterday. Now, a lot of it happened before the market had even opened, and that's one of the neat things about Bitcoin is that you can at least see what it's doing between hours. But here's the interesting thing: now that the US spot Bitcoin ETFs are out there, I'm finding a lot of the action on Bitcoin is kind of starting to migrate into that market hour time slot because that's when you tend to have a lot of that money flowing. Um, Now they would also have access, of course, to extended hours, but you'll have it from the extended hours, extended open, extended close, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, it's definitely pretty darn cool. All right. Whew. Um, all right. This has been a pretty low key stream by our standards. If you guys got any last minute questions or questions that keep me off on a tangent for a bit, drop them in and we'll get to those before we go, of course. Whew. What else was I going to say? Oh, so we have, of course, at 4,000 subs, we're getting close to 3,100 now, where I think we're like less than 10 away. So 4,000 subs, we will be looking at open to close. And open to close meetings. It's going to be meeting live stream. It's going to be fun. It's going to be. I'll probably have to make like some content in it that I can basically swing, just so that way there I can't not swing. I was reading something. I saw Kendall say swing, and I'm like, whoa, whoa. No, I'm looking at probably making a little bit of content that I can play so that I can do things like, take a quick bio break here and there. But for the most part, it's going to be all me, 7 hours or so. It should be pretty good. Yes, and Paul is right. HMM.A earnings released yesterday, so that's another thing too. One of the things that really did surprise me is that I thought the market would react a little bit better to the earnings So I'll show you guys. Let's just give me a second. Let's pull this back up here. And we're going to go, I got HMA.A here as well. This one isn't showing it. And the reason, normally I can see all my earnings and everything in here as well. It's not showing it because HMM.A is technically not on the TSX. It's I believe it's on the NEO. So it's one of those things that I can't see down here, but you can see that we did have a little bit of a droppage. So it's hard to say why the earnings turned out the way they were. I personally think that I think they did well. I'm still incredibly bullish on them. And I look at the earnings. I didn't think they were bad. I did not think they were bad at all. So I'm surprised we didn't get a giant jump. Normally we do, but I think a lot of it too is just the market's been kind of in that funky little place right now. And it seems like all the energy's been taken out of it by NVIDIA. And I just find this incredible. NVIDIA, look at this, 887. And if we go over here to NVIDIA, like even right now at 887, in after hours is up to 888. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like they peaked at 897. So 900 now seems to be that barrier that NVIDIA has to get past. And I think they're going to do it. I don't know how long it will take them, but they will absolutely do it. Okay, let's get to the, Kendall had a swing question. So Kendall says, I'm in a swing trade of BTCY, waiting for you to tell me to cut and run. Okay. BTCY. It's not the only reason, and I'll tell you, you can definitely swing BTCY. I only reason I go with the BTCC.B is just because I can see exactly what's going on with Bitcoin. But the thing is, with if you're in a swing trade with BTCY, what you need to do is sort of set yourself a clear idea of what you want to do. So, for example, if you could have got out yesterday before everything completely fell, that would have been awesome. But if you're still in it, I would just wait. Once you see enough profit that you're happy. So if you have, and hopefully you have a little bit of TA skills, so technical analysis. That way, there you can sort of create your own little thing here. So let me see here. Here's BTCY right here. All right, and we're still in the 1 hour. I'm just going to lengthen things out a little bit. So you can see right now, it's been going pretty flat right now. And this is kind of, and I want to show you something here. So you'll notice this, okay? Now, if we go to the BTCC.B, you'll see we got that same flatness, we got the same downscope, but there is a tiny bit more movement, just a tiny bit, which makes it a little bit easier. Well, I guess when it comes to actual, if you're doing smaller trades, that is a little more important. But with this one here, and here's the interesting thing too. I'll show you guys this too. So this is BT, and here, I'm going to get rid of these. Just get rid of these for the moment. And I'm going to, oops. There we go. Just crank it in a little bit more. All right. So this is the B, and this here is the C. So they're almost identical. The only real difference is, well, take a look at this one here. You'll see you've come down a little bit on the last one, and you'll notice right here they're kind of in the green. So the little tiny differences that you see there is simply because BTCC is hedged to Canadian dollars, whereas the BTCC.B is to the American dollar. And this is where the thing is, Bitcoin is hedged to the American dollar. So this here, it just puts it a little bit better. Whereas with BTCC and also BTCH, if there's fluctuations in the Canadian dollar, if there's stuff going on with the Canada US dollar, that can sometimes come into play. And that's what I don't want to have happen. That's the reason I went with the B, is I want to remove that from the table, remove that variable, which makes it just a little bit easier to predict, because basically all I have to do is, and that's a funny thing, like I do not look, like when I'm actually swing trading or even day trading, BTCC.B, I'm not even on this chart. I'm on the Bitcoin chart. because I can see that I know exactly where it's going to go by looking at exactly what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin tells me what's going on with this, because quite literally, if we were open right now, so this is the hour after the market closed, so it dropped about that much. So yeah, that would probably be about 1285 or 86 or something like that. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe 87. But I know that that's gonna, as that moves, like quite literally, if that moved just a little bit like that, this here is going to move a little bit like that. So I just sort of keep that in mind. It tends to work really, really well. All right. And Enid says, SMCI went crazy up after hours yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I did not actually look at it, but let's take a look here. SMCI. Well, let's pull it up. So super microcomputer. So another one on the AI list. There we go. We'll pull this over here right now. So, all right. Yesterday was Thursday. Or sorry, yesterday was Tuesday. So here we go. Now, the interesting thing here, though, is this all gets worked into that same candle. So I don't know how much of this was in the after hours yesterday, but it will happen, especially if, and I don't know if there was anything. There we are, right here. So Supermicro's earnings skyrocket with AI demand. So that was basically what happened. And that's what you'll find with a lot of companies. They'll have their earnings call either after the market closes or before it opens. So in a case like Supermicro Computer, they had it after, and people, well, basically people who can do after hours trading were in there pounding money into them right away. So that, of course, caused them to go up big time. Now, if you were the first to do it in the after hours, you could make some money. Now, in Canada, Wealthsimple does have it for U.S. stocks. You can do it, like I know I can do it with National Bank, but I have to actually do it on the phone. So I'd have to call an order in if I wanted to do it. I'm not sure about Wealthsimple if you have to call it in, or I doubt it. I can't. I don't think they have any kind of phone lines, but maybe they do. Anybody who's done after-hour callings on Wealthsimple, let me know. Let me know. Oh, Jordan. Jordan is here to start the party. Well, you're coming in towards the end, my friend. You're coming in towards the end, but Jordan's here to start the after party. So, those of you connect with Jordan after the stream is done, he's got a party, and it's a big one. So, yeah, it's just one of those fun things that happens on the market. So, now here's my question. I noticed my head is big. I think I did show you guys the SMCI, didn't I? I'm going to bring it back up because I honestly don't know if I did or not. So this here is the SMCI, so the super microcomputer. And over here on TradingView, it gives me all the news. So it was basically, I'll pull up the news right here. So basically, they had a big AI demand with their earnings call, and it went really well from the looks of it. Yeah, and they're talking about like here, accelerated revenue, earnings growth. These are all great words if you want something to make you a lot of money, and that's what happened here. So yeah, definitely cool. All right, Mary's in the house saying, hit the like button, everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Even if we're towards the end, still smash that good old like button. Turn it blue. Yeah, it's going to be kind of fun. So anyway, everybody, I think that's it for today. We've had a pretty good show. Unfortunately, sorry, Jordan, you came right in towards the end. But we'll be back here again on Sunday. And you guys, like I said, last Sunday blew the roof off the chat, off the live stream. So I'm looking forward to having another big banger show on Sunday. We'll be back here again next week as well. The following week, I don't know. I've got to get out of jury duty. So if I can get out of jury duty, then we'll be back the following week as well. If I can't get out of jury duty, well, it depends. I mean, I might still be there, but yeah. Jury duty. It's going to be the bane of my existence for the next 2 weeks. So anyway, until then, everybody, I will bid you guys a fond farewell. All right, take care.